You've asked me when I knew it was time to get out of my first love. I remember the exact moment. It was a beautiful day and we decided to drive to the park. Kids were on their rollerblades, bikes, parents sitting in their foldable chairs. We got into an argument while walking. By the time we got back to the car, he was screaming, so I decided to walk home. All of a sudden, someone is honking at me. I turn around and there he is, rolling down the window and screaming, "Get back in the car, you bitch! You think you can do this to me?" The entire park grew still. A family of 3 on their bicycles, a father and his 2 daughters literally hit their brakes about 10 feet from me to stare. I stared back and I could actually hear the father's thoughts. "You're the high-powered lawyer? What a fake. No way do I want my daughters growing up to be like you." I got back into the car to avoid a scene, but the look on that man's face, I can still see it as plainly as I can see my own, and I will never let any man tell me to get back in the car, ever again. Crispy tofu? I got you. Press, slice, then coat in potato starch and salt, fry it again, and listen. And that's how you get. I used to make fun of my dad's accent a lot. I knew he was smart, but I couldn't help assuming that his accent meant he wasn't as smart as I was. In high school, I wrote a poem that I was really proud of, and I showed it to him, and with a huge smile, he said, "Wow, like Wadsworth." I laughed and I said, "Who's Wadsworth?" A few years later, in college, where I majored in English, I read all about Wordsworth, and as a result, learned just how generous my father was when he read my crappy little poem. I would soon discover that my dad had an affinity for languages, majored in English at Yonsei University, learned Vietnamese, and served as a Vietnamese, English, and Korean translator during the Vietnam War. A couple years ago, we went to Yonsei for his college reunion, and my dad couldn't contain his pride. We walked all around campus, and he showed me where he spent all of his time, the English building. And I thought of the English building at my college, and for the first time in my life, I felt so grateful and unworthy to call this man my dad. So today we're going to be making some spicy noodles. Like this. All right, let's make our sauce. We're going to add some gochujang. So my water's boiling. I'm going to add my noodles to it. A tablespoon of soy sauce, a splash of rice wine vinegar, a little bit of sweetener. My aunt told me that you're supposed to do this. A tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Half a tablespoon of sesame oil. The top part of the green onions, my tofu. I'm gonna add the noodles. Add the powder. Gotta do this. A little drizzle of sesame oil. Our scallion. Give them a taste, shall we? Alexa, who is Joanne Molinaro?
Here is a biography of Joanne Molinaro, content creator who is best known for posting to her the Korean Vegan TikTok account. She is known for posting vegan food recipe videos to the platform and has gained over 950,000 fans on the app. She married pianist Anthony Molinaro in 2018.
The 25th Amendment, ratified in 1967 after the JFK assassination, it was designed to ensure a predictable transfer of power if the president became incapacitated. Imagine how vulnerable the country would be if there was no clear plan if POTUS goes down. Mostly it's voluntary, like if POTUS needs to get his wisdom teeth pulled and wants to make sure he doesn't accidentally nuke someone while under laughing gas, he'd transfer power to the VP and VP would give it back. At no time in our history has the 25th Amendment been invoked against the sitting president against his will. In order to do that, the VP and the majority of POTUS's cabinet would need to make a written declaration that POTUS was unable to discharge his duties as president. That's it. While Congress needs to confirm this decision within 21 days, during that entire time, the VP is president. Congress doesn't need to weigh in for there to be an immediate transfer of power, but on the flip side, Congress has almost no say in whether the 25th Amendment is invoked in the first place. So here, if Mike Pence and Trump's cabinet decide that Trump is no longer fit to serve, all they have to do is say so, and Mike Pence becomes president until Joe Biden is inaugurated. But is that likely to happen here? No. Like for part 2. Yesterday morning, my dad sent a happy birthday text to my brother in the family text thread saying, "I'm so proud of you for your unyielding spirit by which you got through all the obstacles last year. Still, there are two viruses to overcome. One is coronavirus, and the other one is the group trying to overthrow this country's democracy." I smiled, thinking, well, Daddy's being a little dramatic. And then just a couple hours later, I watched thousands of Americans storm the U.S. Capitol. I thought instantly of my dad's message and the fear that prompted him to send it to all of us, and how he spent half his life in poverty, war, or political upheaval. My father, an immigrant born in North Korea, was warning all of us how fragile democracy can be if we just believe that we can keep things polite, if we simply leave it at happy birthday or recipe on the blog. I've been told countless times to stay in my lane, that as a food blogger, I shouldn't talk about politics. But let me be clear, to everyone who's requested I keep my politics off my social media, with all due respect, I refuse.